Hello. Hi. This is Codie Elaine Oliver. I am joining you guys on Facebook Live. Hello, hello, hello. I am joining you guys on Facebook Live to just chat about the show, to talk to Nico and Roxanne. You may remember them as one of the couples from the Newlyweds episode, the second episode of this season. For the first time ever, we decided to do a Newlyweds episode. And it was in part because everybody kept asking, like, when are you going to talk to Newlyweds? And honestly, when we created the show, we wanted to talk to, seasoned couples about what it takes to make a marriage work. And in doing that, we hoped that it would encourage and offer tips and resources to those of us who were trying to make it happen, right? And so that's why we started the show. And we kind of had this barrier to you had to be together at least 8 years. Even if you were newlyweds, you had to be together a certain amount of time so that we could so that you could really draw on your experiences. And so that's why we started the show. And then everybody was like, yo, what's up with newlyweds? So we were like, fine, we're gonna find y'all some cool newlyweds. And that
Nico, I hope that cue up worked.
Woo!
Yay, we did it.
Oh!
Guys, I don't know why that was so crazy. I don't know.
I feel like,
How are you?
Let me move this a little bit back because we had landscape and now we switching it to portrait.
Thank y'all for rocking out. Look at all these people. I appreciate y'all so much.
Yes, then
wait.
we're sticking around.
I know. So I want to talk about how I met you guys. I was almost there, twice. So for those of you, mostly because people are always like, how do you find couples, right? And we find them in the DMs, we find them from recommendations. We love recommendations. But we also do a lot of events and we meet a lot of people. And so last year we were having an event for an episode called Money, Power, Respect, which is about working business and your relationship and how to prioritize and how to respect one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pretty small event. It was one of our smallest. Usually we're having theater size events, and this was at a co-working space. And you guys stuck around to the end. And that we literally met that way. We literally met at this event, and I don't even remember what you said. I'm trying to remember what dragged me, what drew me to you, besides how adorable you are and how in love you guys look and are. But also that you probably told me at that time that you were from South Africa and that you guys dated long distance for 4 years, which is just huge.
I think I tried to give you a quick 30-second elevator pitch.
I think so.
Boy, do I have a story for you.
Exactly. What's funny is Saroj and Aisha Harper in this chat, and they're in Atlanta. We met them at the Black Love Summit. And so, and they came up to Tommy and Tommy was like, you have to meet this couple. So there's a handful like that, mostly in this season. There's actually one more who was sitting outside our house one day, not stalkery at all. They were attending a house party next door. And then they were like, ain't you? Cause Tommy got the beard. They were like, that's Tommy Oliver. So, that's how we met. And I wanted to bring you guys on today. I will say the two things that I want to talk about is dating long distance. And then of course, blending your family and what that means and looks like. Y'all had this whirlwind short, how many months in South Africa?
2 months.
2 months. 2 months of Nicholas Sparks movie type love.
Exactly. That's it.
And then when you were leaving, Nico, to go back home, you said, I want to make this work.
I dropped the L word. Yeah, at the airport.
At the airport, 2 months.
At the airport. I think I was trying to follow suit of the Nicholas Sparks novels. I was trying to make the next one. So I just, the hopeless romantic in me was like, this is a good time. This sounds like something I've seen on those.
But he was quiet the entire time. We drove to the airport. He wasn't saying much. It was very the mood was really somber. So
because I don't like to. I can get really emotional, but I don't like to display it.
Yeah.
And because it's only been 2 months, I don't know, you know, how she would react to it. So I'm still kind of being guarded. So for me, I just like, let me just hold it all in. And I was upset. I was sad. It was a whole lot going on. Yeah.
Feeling like your stomach was turning a little bit. Like, yeah. I remember.
So you said I love you after 2 months. You said it in the airport as you're headed back hundreds of thousands of miles. I don't know how far that is. But when did you know, like, when did you feel it? Like, it's not a small thing to say. So when did you first feel like, I think I love her?
Yeah, so it kind of developed with me getting caught up in an entanglement.
Good word. Good word.
Yeah, so I had been seeing somebody in the States for, I think, off and on for close to a year. But that also was long distance. I was living in New York, and this person was in California. It was somebody I had reconnected with because we had went to school together. And it's funny because I've seen the two elements of myself of how to approach long distance. One is inconvenience. You know, I'm in a relationship, but I'm not really putting in the work. Like when they come and see me, they come and see me, like I'm really not putting much effort into the relationship. And so I went out to South Africa and
for work.
Yeah. And my ex at the time, she actually wanted to come with. And I was like, no, this is another journey. This is a journey I'm trying to, you know, do on my own. Another red flag. Like, why wouldn't you want your partner to experience something like that with you, right?
Right.
So this is something I'm trying to do on my own.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wasn't going to South Africa with any intention on meeting somebody.
Right.
And so then when me and Roxy connected and all these emotions, you know, started to happen, and, you know, I was like, I guess when in Rome, I was just rolling with it.
Right.
I didn't say anything at the time. You know, I just...
She caught a text message or something, right?
Yeah, it must have been like Instagram. Like the ex made a comment on a photo or something like that.
Linty.
Yeah. So she called me out on it at a dinner, and it was that moment that I decided just to come clean. And most importantly, the reason why I did is because I needed to explain that all these feelings, everything that we've experienced, this was...
You and Roxanne.
Me and Roxy, yeah. Everything had just kind of sideswiped me. I wasn't anticipating any of this. And I didn't want her to feel like she was just a holiday fling or, you know, a side chick. And so for me, after the conversation, after she called me out on it, she told me, like, this is it. Like, it was fun. I know we have a connection, but I'm not that girl. I'm not that woman, you know? So she was very adamant about bowing out. And I think we went probably 3 or 4 days without talking. And when I talk about restless nights, I couldn't sleep. My stomach was in knots.
Wow.
And so for me, the idea, because the woman back at home, she was a great woman. And so it hurt me that I was going to go back to the States and break somebody's heart or hurt somebody. But the idea of them no longer in my life didn't really have that heavy of an effect on me. And meeting Roxy for 2 months, the idea, even though we had nothing established, nothing said like what our relationship was, just the idea for me that this woman was going to be out of my life forever and I wasn't going to get the opportunity to explore where this relationship could take us just broke me. It really killed me. So for that, like, it was that moment.
That's how you knew.
Like, this is something a little different.
And so someone asked, is Roxy from Ethiopia? No.
No, I'm from South Africa. close. Cape Town specifically.
So I want to hear a little bit. I know you guys are going to share with the Black Love family on blacklove.com, but I want to hear a little bit about what was it like committing for 4 years, internationally, long distance? Like, what were the things that you guys did to stay connected and to show, like, no, seriously, I'm in this?
First of all, I would just put a disclaimer out there and say, we never went into it knowing that that's how long it was going to last for.
Fair.
I don't think either of us would have chosen that. Definitely not you. Because if it was up to Nico, he would have had Yasmin and I, my daughter and I, move out within 6 months.
So that's how naive of a thought I had. I
think it's not optimistic.
It's optimistic, but it's a little unrealistic. Like, after we've, even if everything went smoothly, right?
Right.
So I told her, like,
that's
if
true.
you think you can, make the move within 6 months, like I'm definitely willing to, explore this further. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
We didn't think that it would take that long. And I was already open to the idea of living abroad and raising my daughter abroad.
Right.
So the willingness was already there from the start, from my side.
Yeah.
Then I think what Nico showed me from the jump was that it's possible to make long distance work and to actually make this person that you're in a relationship with feel as though you may not be there physically, but you are as thought of, even though you're miles apart. So he initiated all of the video calls, the text messages, the voice notes, almost like what we consider video diaries. That is what I think opened my eyes up to the communication being different to how it would be if the partner was in the same city, but also the consistency of it.
Right. Yeah. And you guys were making videos like solo, like one of you would be asleep and the other one's like, okay, so this is what I did today. And you'd send that.
Yeah. And every day. And I also think,
I just want to make sure people hear that every day.
Every day.
Consistency.
And I also think the naivety of me thinking that something can happen so quickly was actually a blessing in disguise, because I think almost like that idea of lay one brick at a time and eventually you have a house. If I would have had the mindset of thinking long term, like, man, this is a 4-year process.
Right.
I think it would have scared me and probably would have, I would have had one foot in, one foot out, wouldn't have been fully in it. And the idea of planning, like there was always, even though it ended up being 4 years, we worked in 5-6 month increments. It's like, okay, this is the next time we're going to see each other. This is
something forward to as a couple.
Yeah, this is, so making those small plans really helped, get through, 4 years. Because when you blink, then it's like, holy crap, that was 4 years.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question, but I have to read this comment. It says, does Nico have a brother, an uncle, a cousin, a daddy?
Do you?
I don't have a brother.
From a small
family, just me and my sister. I do have a father. He's available.
He's available? Shoot, I have a mama who's available. Let's talk. So, okay, wait, what's my question? Okay, so another thing that you did, which carries over into now marriage, but one of the things that I remember you sharing with me was that you guys would, like, Nico would be on the phone, like, helping your daughter with her homework. Like, remind me, like, walk me down that.
Yeah, so part of the just making the constant effort, this was a piece of it, because she was a mother to a little girl, and I wanted to show how committed I was to not only Roxy, but also to her daughter. But we generally, just with everything, we wanted to make our experience feel like it wasn't long distance.
Yeah.
Whether it be going to dinner and introducing the table to our phone, almost like, hey, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, me talking to the people she's at dinner with, like that's, on the road, driving,
right.
sending videos or having conversation. We just in general wanted to always make the relationship feel like it was in person.
Yeah.
So that was the foundation. And then with her having a daughter, I really just wanted to go that extra mile and show my investment to her and to her daughter. So when it came time to school, the things that, you know, stick out in my mind would be, she was in first grade. She had just started first grade when I met her, and they were doing, you know, oral presentations. And so I would have her, you know, recite her presentation to me. I'd always like coach her to pump her up, get excited, feel motivated. I am beautiful. I am proud. Okay, go. And then she would recite it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And then she would do her presentation, and it started that way. Yeah. And then the more I got invested, the more I felt that I wanted to have my footprint in on, you know, on Yasmin, knowing that they were eventually going to come. I was trying to have as big of an impact possible. So when it came to, you know, the report card coming out, or like if there was parent-teacher conferences, I would go. If one time I was there and it just worked out that there was a parent-teacher conference that I was able to attend in person. But if I wasn't, same thing as if it was a dinner, she would bring me with the phone if I had questions. You know, I'm the talking one. I'm the one with all the questions.
I'm just like, okay.
So instead of her just be asking all these questions, she'd be like, oh, I didn't ask that. She would bring me with, and if there was a question, I was able to ask the teachers, and just really show my influence that way. Yeah. It's weird. It sounds funny, but it became our norm.
So someone made a comment that I wanted to touch on. Lord, I got to find it, because it's how I felt when I was interviewing you guys. Okay, so someone said, sounds like this worked well because he continued to pursue her from afar. Which, like, that's what I see. And I think as women, like, we need to know, especially with men, like, we need to know that the commitment comes from you all, right? We give so much of ourselves. Roxy, you were a single mom at the time. And so, you know, I think that's really valuable. And I really loved hearing you say all of this when we had our first conversation, because I feel like it's a testament to what's possible locally and afar. Yeah. You know, honestly, when a man leads in that way, leads with his heart and his commitment.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a big deal.
And for me, a big piece was also the fact that she was a single mom and she had a daughter. So I was always thinking about her daughter as well. And because naturally, if it was up to me, I'd probably, if I had it my way, I would have had her move out to the States, live together, see how that works, then get engaged, then get married. Like, in my mind, that was always my process of what I would want to do in a relationship. But my expectations or my thoughts had to change. It's like, you're a woman that's successful with all your family and a little girl that you have to worry about. She needs something more than just let's see how it goes, or you know, it's going to work out type promise. Yeah. So that's when I decided to, I think it was after a year and a half, I decided to propose, just because I felt like she needed that extra oomph, for that extra, you know, validation that I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this.
I love it. I mean, I think that that's huge when there's a child involved, right?
Yes.
So one of the other things that you guys talked about, we shared the clip today, which wasn't in the show, but it's a bonus clip, was about really coming together as a family and the notion of unconditional love, right? And how that looks. You know, honestly, it's like something I'd never thought about the way that you put it, but how your job is to love your wife and your child. Y'all, you know, originally Roxy's child, but of course you're married now, so your child, unconditionally. But it's the only relationship where, like, she might not be doing that back. Like, right? Like, so, yeah. And so, you know, I would love anybody else. Oh, hi, Jim Planette. I love it. I would love anybody else who's in a blended family, just drop like a heart, something, tell us about yourselves a little bit. But it's so what you said was just very important to recognize. Especially, I'm a child of divorce, so I think that my father's wife probably came in expecting us to be like, oh, unconditional love for you. For you to word it that way was just like crazy. Like, it was just so truthful.
Yes.
Yeah. And and me being, a Cancer, I have to catch myself, or she catches myself, getting in my, feelings.
Yeah.
It's just something that you have to
take in your stride.
Yeah. Being aware of it, but also not allowing it to affect the way that you parent, or that you
and the consistency
and the
that
consistency.
Exactly. Giving. Yeah.
Right.
Like, you literally have to keep going. Because you don't know when that turnaround is going to happen, and it could be soon, but it also could take another few years for the child to recognize and see the value that you've actually brought into their life.
Yeah.
But
I have to keep walking into those audition rooms and getting no after no after no.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I love the way that you guys are reflecting on this and being honest with people, right? Like that it's challenging. And I want to say what it is. I want to put words to it because people might be joining us, now, but like blending your family requires giving unconditional love to your bonus children when you're not always receiving it. It requires being consistent and continuing to give and love and be there, even when they look like they couldn't care less. Maybe they really couldn't, but sometimes they're just, hiding it. And not knowing when or if, but when the tide will change and they're like, hey, you cool, I appreciate you. And that's just really beautiful that you guys, you guys are young, both in life and in your relationship, and just recognizing that, I just think is really powerful, and I love hearing it, honestly.
And I'll give you another funny story, or just another tidbit that I think would be helpful to other blended families, especially if the step parent is the one that is the rule enforcer, or the one that's more hands-on.
Yeah.
And one of the challenges that we've had discussions about is when it's dealing with academics or just responsibility. I'm the one that's enforcing it mostly. And so as a step parent, I want to be the fun guy. I want to, I'm trying to still work to build this relationship and build this bond. And I can't feel like it's always discipline, it's always structure. Otherwise, I feel like it will lack the connection element, maybe.
Right.
Respect will be there, but it will lack the connection element. So sometimes I'll pull her aside, and we have to have the conversation, like, it's okay. Like, you need to be the bad guy sometimes. Like, I'm tired of hearing my voice. She loves you no matter what. Your mommy, she has that unconditional love for you, so you can get in her butt a little bit, and it's not going to have that same effect as if like I'm constantly the one always doing it. Like, let me be the nice guy.
I'm trying to make sure it's not just me, and I see Sarouj said it too. The audio switched just a little bit. We can still hear you, but it was like it just sounded different. Like you kind of faded down. I don't know if something changed on your end. Say more so we can tell.
Yeah, it might have just been a glitch because we didn't change it.
You're good now. You're totally good now. So wait, what was I going to say about that? And you probably have to build in fun time. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you stole the fun one between the two of us. You both. You have both. What do I do? I'm just here.
Yeah. She holds it all together.
So somebody asked, what was your response to seeing your story shared on TV, and maybe even the bonus clip today? Did it spark any new conversation or anything like that?
The response when we first saw it, we actually recorded our reactions. We did like a reaction video. It's always a little bit funny because when we watch ourselves on television, being in the industry as models and actors, we're very critical about ourselves. So I know that Nico was feeling a little bit critical of like how he, or maybe anticipating what he was going to say, because the conversation is so long. You don't always know what's going to be included.
It's true.
But I was feeling really proud about it.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the amount of gems
that
they were.
You're like, oh, my drop, what we
talking Oh, nice. Okay.
So we had a really good response from our friends and family, and then also from people that we don't know personally that found us through the show, and their responses to see what they took away from the show based on our story was really heartwarming, to know that, you know, it resonates with people out there.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, because with our branding of Nico Rocks, that is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to just have some influence on people, shining light on, you know, the greatness of love, of relationships. And it was like that first experience of where it's really starting to resonate with people. And that felt nice to know that, you know, even if it was just a little gem that someone makes a comment that, oh yeah, that landed for me. So that's
well, I would certainly love to hear more from you guys. As I shared, I asked you to write a little bit about your long distance tips, so I look forward to sharing that. I think blended family, you know, and that journey and how it evolves, because you guys have been married now how many years?
Or it will be 2 years in Feb, so a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay. And so when we saw you, it was less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yes. I always get confused because we put on the show, we put like whatever it would be like today. So, okay, cool. Wait, what was I going to ask? I was going to ask you guys one more thing. Oh, so Roxy, how have you settled in to the independent woman / letting him lead and provide role? Like, how has that evolved since we talked last?
Very good question. That was when we had that conversation. I was honestly still in my feelings about it, because moving to the States, I did have my own idea and my own plan, and I was just gonna be in control of everything. Because of the control that I had over my career back in South Africa. And I feel like the timing that everything played out over, or that the time span that it took for me to get settled, for us to get married, was perfect, because when you're in the thick of things, you don't realize it. That's number one. So I was definitely frustrated and felt like something was missing. But there has to be a certain amount of time that passes in order for you to grow into the new role. So I don't think I would have been able to be as present as a wife, as a mother, being home with my daughter as often as I was able to. Make our house a home. I don't think if I was as driven with trying to make my career take off this side, that I would have been able to accomplish those things. So the trust that I needed to have, that Nico was going to provide for us, that God was going to make sure we had everything that we needed, that was strengthened during that time. It was the best thing that could have happened. And the way I feel now, that I have my paperwork, that I'm able to work, that I'm settled, that my relationship with my husband is good, that my daughter's doing well, it just feels right. It feels like everything happened when it was meant to happen. I miss South Africa terribly, and my friends and my family, but at the same time, I feel good where I am, like I'm supposed to be here.
Right. Wherever he is home.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go take care of my kids in like 5 minutes. So I have 2 important questions. Okay, the people want to know your signs. What is your sign or your birthday?
Oh, Pisces. You said
Cancer, 7/11.
And Pisces, March.
Okay. 7/11, go get yourself a Slurpee on the behalf of me.
Okay, so now the very serious question. I don't know if y'all can see these comments, but the hair care routine, the products, they really want to know.
Today was deep condition day, so I feel like my hair is behaving.
Nice. What are you using? What are you using?
Oh, our number one product right now is Cantu and like Olive. I think it's called Olive.
Yeah.
I try a lot of different products, and then we both experimented it, because moving to the States, everything had to be a sort of, I had to go through a test period.
Right.
Hair products, skincare products, everything was different. The water's different.
Yeah.
It was a challenging time.
Wow.
But we like natural hair care products.
Yeah, I use mostly leave-in conditioners.
With olive oil.
With olive oil, yeah.
So wait, here's the $1 million question. Are you guys like literally doing each other's hair? Like you just
Yeah, it's funny because
you would do my hair on vacation.
On vacation, I would show her little tips to give her curls more volume.
I would be like, I don't know if I trust you because you seem so confident, but I've been natural for 15 years. I know what I'm doing. He just started growing his hair out a few years ago. But when we met, Nikolai's hair was like this.
Yeah.
He looked like smooth military guy. He's so fine.
Oh man. You guys are hilarious. I have to go get these kids. There are requests for your daddy's phone number, but you know, I'm gonna send you a picture of my mama. We'll talk about it later. Sorry, cakes and fries. Love you, girl. But yes, so thank you guys so much. We should do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And I just want to let the people know that have dropped more comments or questions that we missed. Just send us a message. We really like engaging with people. So Instagram, YouTube, wherever, Facebook.
Where can they, what's your handle? I know Nico Rocks. Is that the main one you want people to go to? Okay.
Yeah.
Nikorox.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. And then emails too. So Nikolai.roxanne@gmail.com. But yeah.
Socials are the easiest.
And the people have asked for a hair care video. I think that'll do gangbusters. Especially if you're doing each other's hair, combining love and hair. People love it.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.